Hello, welcome to the Bubby Brister and Friends Fantasy Football Podcast presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Bubby is on assignment this week. We're his friends, Billy and Nick. In NFL news today, Adam Schefter reports that the Colts have failed to find a trade partner for Jonathan Taylor, resulting in Taylor's placement on the physically unable to perform list. This means he is out for no less than 4 weeks. Who's the fool that drafted Jonathan Taylor in our league?
I am him. I am that guy. I drafted him in the third round. You know, I thought it was good value because it was kind of top of third round, boom or bust. He's playing for a contract. I just didn't really see that. That's a kick in the nuts. And the hard part about this is that his handcuffs suck. So it's like, do I pick up a handcuff for him? Not really. Moss is one of his handcuffs. He flamed out as a Bill, and then some other guy, he's a Jag. So I don't even. I don't know. The Jonathan, he's on my IR, and I'm just gonna have to float along right now.
At least
That's
you
it.
can.
I just have to float along with my wide receivers.
At least you can put him on IR. I used Deion Jackson last season for a couple of weeks, and he was pretty good. So I would suggest picking him up and crossing your fingers.
Oh no, man. Well, I'm at to see. I'm at to sleep on it, pray on it.
So you want to go?
What tell me?
Yeah, you got about a week and a half to band-aid something together. You want to go round by round on our picks and discuss what led us to each player we selected? I could start and just...
Yeah, we could yeah, go ahead and rifle it off.
All right, so I got the first overall pick. I mentioned last episode I do not like drafting at the top of the draft. I don't believe in the ESPN randomizer anymore. I think it's lazy. I have a pitch for next season with the draft lottery where
it's too intense.
You finish in last place. I'm gonna do it next year, and I'm gonna test it out and see what happens. It won't be official. I'm gonna test it. But anyway, I had the number one pick.
The choice was some NBA lottery here.
Yeah, I'll do the Patrick Ewing with the cold envelope. I had a no-brainer for me. The choice was made for me. I took Justin Jefferson number 1. I really didn't put any thought into it. Number 2, I took Jalen Waddle. We're going to get into your picks later. You took Tyreek Hill number 2. So we are both reliant on Tua having a successful season this year. Both of us having Dolphins receivers. Now, I went into this draft with my eyes on Justin Fields. He was the belle of the ball for me. I debated taking him number 1, I'm going to be honest, but I knew that was foolish. So I didn't do it. And we're coming around the bend. I'm getting ready to make my pick in the third round, and Heater sniped me. He took Justin Fields. He's a Bears fan, so I got to give him a pass. And now I have a decision to make. This is my first tough decision of the draft. Do I punt on quarterback, take one later, and go for another position? And I took Lamar Jackson, who I never had before. And I was the last person to take a running back. I didn't take a running back until the last pick in the 4th round. I took James Cook of Buffalo, Dalvin's brother.
I see. That's the dynamic of this running back apocalypse. You took a running back to the 4th round. You're just like, the value is at wide receiver and at quarterback for your guaranteed money. Who was your first running back you drafted?
James Cook, 4th round.
James Cook.
I have a bunch of second-year players. In fact, I took 4 second-year players in a row between rounds 4 through 7. Back to the quarterback you just mentioned. This was a rebirth in quarterbacks this year. We had 3 go in the second round. I took
Let
Jackson
me
is the
say
first
something.
pick in the
That
third
was
round.
ridiculous.
That's because the running backs have fallen so
Two
hard that
quarterbacks must three
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks going. He's got to be careful because you have to, when you're drafting guys and you're thinking, you have to have a draft strategy. And people that tend to go with the ebb and flow of what other people do, you got to let go. It's just like example,
That
your NFL draft. You're watching people, and all of a sudden you see this run of tight ends, and you're like, dude, you don't need a tight end. You actually need this, but you're gonna draft a tight end just because you're like, oh, they're all going away. Like, dude, you need to stick with your team need and what you need and what you think you're going to get. You just can't just freak out and draft defenses start flying off the board late in the game and we're like,
yeah
what's happening?
yeah we'll get to that defensive run later, but yeah, I agree totally. Once you get off your plan, that's where mistakes are made. Um, I then went with Kenneth Walker after I took James Cook, so now I'm at 2 receivers, a quarterback, and 2 running backs.
Kenneth Walker's solid pickup.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about him. I ended up taking his backup handcuff rookie running back Zach Charbonnet in the second round, or in the 11th round. Sorry, I took my first
He looks
Commanders.
really good in preseason.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. I almost went with Brian Robinson when I selected Kenneth Walker in the 5th round, but I thought there would be a good chance he might fall to me later. And Freeman was sitting across from me, and Robinson almost made it back down to me. Freeman's on the clock, and he says, "What do you think about Brian Robinson?" And I was like, "You shut your mouth. Yeah, get away from him." And then I was like, "He still hasn't recovered from his gunshot. You don't want anything to do with Brian Robinson." But Freeman took him from me, and I moved on to wide receiver. Then that's where I took Jahan Dotson, who I'm pretty excited about. He's a touchdown machine. I think the Commanders' offense is going to be much improved. In the 7th round, I took Brees Hall.
I sold you on that last week, didn't I?
Which one, Dotson?
I sold you on that improved the improved Commanders offense here. The Panthers. The Panthers.
The Now I've been delusional about the Commanders' offense for a few years now. I was all in on Wentz last year. Don't tell anybody. I traded Joe Burrow because I
Fair
was so
enough.
excited about
Fair.
Wentz. Wentz had 2 big weeks to start the season last year, and
I have a really good question later on. Like it might be we might have thrown our other podcasts here, but I have a good question about quarterbacks. I'd love to get your opinion on later. So just
all
keep that
right.
as a we're gonna pin drop that one.
Yeah, I'm ready. The 7th round, I'm still chasing running backs because I waited so long. I took Brees Hall. He was sitting there all day. He was the last guy in the green room, basically. I didn't really want him because he's coming off that injury, but I have to be patient with him now that I got him. I can't really depend on him until like week 7 or so. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers doesn't doghouse him because he's in love with Dalvin Cook. 10th round, I
Fair.
went tight end with Dalton Schultz because the Texans have a rookie quarterback, and I've always believed that rookie quarterbacks lean on your tight ends more and follow the money. The Texans paid Dalton Schultz on a free agent contract to lure him away from the Cowboys. So I was happy to get Schultz. I have a proposition for you. I know you're not thrilled about the tight ends coming back. I'm rather indifferent about it. What do you say about going? We can't do it this year because we already drafted. Next year, we go tight end premium and we give the tight ends 1.5 points per reception to boost their value.
No,
You're out.
because then it's gonna you're boosting Kelsey. You're boosting Kelsey way up. Darren Waller potentially like the 5 elite. You're making them astronomical now, and that's the problem. Like it was different when we made the change for the running backs because running backs were losing all values. The workhorses are dying off. It's the it's gone of the years of like you draft this running back and number two and he just carries your entire season. It's not happening. There will be. It's going to be a hard watch. Everybody is really banking on Robinson for the Falcons to be like running back Jesus, and I just don't
Hmm.
understand. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't
I'm
either.
sorry. Call me jaded because he's a Falcon player, but in college he showed moxie and stuff like that. But the NFL is different, and you're not playing against lawyers and guys that are going to school to be psychiatrists. You're playing against guys that play this on Sundays that got car seats of their children in their cars. They're playing for livelihoods. And these guys they're gonna get banged up. He can't play smash mouth ball. Only person to do that was AP. AP was the only guy to do that.
Yeah,
AP
there's a
was
freak every once in a
was
while.
freak, right? And I don't think he's a freak. I don't think he's
And the
that guy.
Falcons have Algier, who was pretty good last year as a rookie,
Algie
and
was great. He was a
and
thousand
Patterson's still there.
yards, super sleeper running back last year. He was great. And Patty, my man was a receiver and running back. He was great. So the idea the Falcons picking this premium pick, they're setting up to be a top 5 draft pick next year. That's what they're doing. They're getting that top 5 draft pick next year, so then they could slide up a little bit farther and get their QB of the future. They're tanking this year. That's the quiet thing. They're on my tank list.
So I left off in the 8th round. I'm now in the 9th round, and here's where I have a decision to make. And it was between Odell Beckham and Drake London. I ended up taking Odell, and what sold me on it was I have Lamar. So I was like, if this hits, it could be big. And like I said with Dalton Schultz, follow the money. The Ravens have like 5 receivers that they don't know what to do with: Aguilar, Bateman, Zay Flowers, Beckham. I'm missing someone who sucks that the Ravens always.
Richard, he's
Bateman.
their first round draft pick. Yeah.
I didn't say him. Bateman, Flowers, Beckham, Aguilar, Flowers, plus Mark Andrews. Let's not forget about. Oh, Devin Duvernay still
Yeah.
there, I
And
believe.
Mark Andrews.
But
Yep.
yeah, I figured if Beckham hits, that could be big since I have Jackson. Low risk, high reward pick in the 9th round. I'm on to the 10th round. I just threw a dart at Rashard Penny. I've had him in the past. He does well when he's healthy, but he's always hurt.
When he's
So
healthy.
I'm not. Yeah, he's just filler. He's one of the last guys on my roster. The 11th round. This is where I took Zach Charbonnet. And have you ever had Seattle Seahawks on your roster before?
Players?
Yeah.
I think I might have I might have Doug Baldwin one year. I
Okay.
think I definitely had I've had their defense a couple of times.
The defense, no,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
But
So
yeah, I've never really had a Seattle player really.
anytime you have a Seahawks player who gets dinged up throughout the season, Pete Carroll is a liar. He is the worst when it comes to giving injury news. I was watching a game where Chris Carson, his leg fell off, and I had him on my team. The next week, Pete Carroll's like, we're going to try and get Chris Carson into some practice. And I was like, I watched his leg fall off last week. I don't think he's going to practice, Pete. Every week after that, Chris Carson, he'll be back next week. I was like, Pete, I watched his leg bend in half like Gumby. Chris Carson's not going to practice next week. Chris Carson has never played in a game since that injury, and Pete Carroll was telling me for 2 months that he was going to practice next week. So now I'm married to Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and I have to deal with Pete Carroll if they ever get an injury.
He's very much
Right.
at the Bill Belichick school of coaching. He's not going to give that much far away. As side note, Arizona Cardinals head coach is like, I'm not naming a QB1 for week 1 because I want to keep everybody a mystery. Sir, this is not hide and seek. We need to know who's starting QB. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I think Bill Belichick's a little more sinister, and I think Pete is just kind of like uh, an optimistic guy, but he is
Sinister.
from that coaching tree, so maybe I'm getting fooled.
Mm-hmm.
12th round, I took a kicker, Harrison Butker of the Chiefs. Chiefs kickers usually pretty good to have. Round 13, I was gonna take Jacksonville rookie running back Tank Bigsby, but I was like, I don't want 2 rookie running backs. So I took another dart and I selected Kyler Murray. I'm not planning on him playing. Lamar's bye isn't until week 13, so I'm not going to use another quarterback unless something happens to Lamar between weeks 1 through 13. Jackson's a set it and forget it guy. So Kyler Murray's a dart. If I can get through without needing that IR spot and he comes back, we'll see what happens. 14th round, I took the Commanders defense. I hate defenses. I don't really care who I take. I usually try and stream them throughout the season. And in the 15th round, I took the Ravens head coach, which I was going to drop him right away, but then I saw they play Houston in week 1. So I'm going to keep him for that matchup at least.
Yeah, take that win. Yeah, take that win. Take that win, yeah.
And then after the draft, I placed Murray on IR and I put a waiver claim on Devin Achane. And the more I read about him,
You've already dropped
the
him
more
already. Yeah, you dropped him
I
already.
dropped him. I dropped him already, and I picked up Kendre Miller just because of the Saints, just because Kamara is suspended for 3 games. So I was like, maybe I'll be able to use him for 3 games, but I'm already looking around. So that's my draft review.
That's crazy. Let's see. So this is the first for me in this draft because I drafted number 2. I've never had a first pick or second pick, hell, a top 5 pick. I'm usually like 7 or I'm like at the very bottom, like 10, 12. 1 year I was 14. You know, I think I was 14 the previous year or something like that. So I drafted back to back. And it's always weird drafting back to back at the bottom. Because you have to have a whole different strategy about it because you're not going to get the premium player one, but you could find gems and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get this and that, and you have to really focus on your deep dives. But having the second pick is probably one of the hardest picks here. I try to do a lot of the mock drafts, tell me what I should get. Funny, a lot of mock drafts kept saying Christian McCaffrey's going to be first pick, which I'm like, that's not happening because Billy tells you flat out he's been burned by him. So Christian McCaffrey's on his no draft list, just flat out. So first pick tied against he has Christian McCaffrey would have to be second round pick, last pick in the second round for him to be like, fine, I'll grab him because that's the best value ever for him. But he would never make that pick. So I chose, as he told you, Tyreek Hill. And I chose Tyreek Hill because I don't like Tua. However, what I do like is Tyreek Hill's history. He's not 30. He's never been injured. And he's going to give me at least 1,300 yards. At least. I'm not looking at 17. Last year he had 1,700 yards last year. So he went nuts last year. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I think if his ceiling is 17 and the floor could be 13, I'm good with that.
Now, I would have taken Chase here. Well, yeah, I would have taken Chase here, but I get why you took Tyreek Hill. Like you said, he's safe. The 1,700 yards is outrageous. I can't argue with it. I mean, if you really wanted him, there was no chance you were going to get him in the second round. So sometimes you got to take the guy you want where you pick.
I don't like, so Jamar Chase, I don't like him per se. Jamar Chase was taken by Smash Hawk Kendricks. He's not in my mind. At that pick 2, I don't like the value because he has an injury history. 1, Burrow's hurt, so and there's not real telling when he's going back. So then I'm waiting around for my first pick to like hit me big, and I didn't want that. Austin Eckler would have been fine, but I don't want to draft a running back first round.
Yeah.
So but he would have been my guy. I'd have been like, trust me, I was thinking about that. Robinson, I told you, I just don't trust it. But I mean, I get it. The value's there. And I think he's boom or bust later in the season, not necessarily early. Derrick Henry would have been a great second round draft pick. Or if I drafted late, you know what I mean? Like where he's drafted in 7th by dead money, Mr. Freeman. I think that's a great pick there. That's a great pick.
Yeah, it's safe.
I would have done that. Travis Kelce at 8. I would have done it. Sounds fine. Saquon, that's what I was thinking, like late draft. I was like, I'm gonna draft Saquon Barkley. I think he'll have a great year. They're gonna use him. So I'm like, he's a great pick. He would have been my pick if I was late. Nick Chubb, I don't necessarily trust him. in Cleveland with Deshaun, because I feel like Deshaun Watson's going to kind of be kind of fugazi this year. Not Nick Chubb's going to be a problem, but it's going to be more like him carrying the load. He's never really done that without the other guy. I forgot his name.
Hunt.
He's not even picked up by team. Yeah, Hunt. Hunt's not even
No.
on the team yet. Hunt's really good too. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I've always liked Hunt. Let's get to your
Other
second
than him,
round pick
like,
because this one shocked
uh,
me.
my second round pick wasn't that crazy, but I mean, so I wanted to go for a steamer, like just like come out of nowhere, and I went with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, he took a year off, and I was like, I watched some preseason games and picking up on the highlights and seeing him play with Mr. T Law. T Law is feeding him, and I think T Law's never had a number one like him. Christian Kirk, no disrespect to you. You get paid like a number one, but he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley is a great route runner, and he's going to get them catches.
yeah, Ridley's on another level, no doubt about it. He hasn't played in like a year and a half because remember he took
Right.
off for like mental health, and
Mental
then he
health.
had the weird gambling thing.
The mental health was actually his house being robbed. His house got robbed by a gang in Atlanta, and he had to move.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's I heard that on I like watching the Swamp Stories on YouTube. I'm shameless plug to them. And he brought that up, and it's a good story about that. So that's why Calvin really took the rest of the year off to protect his family. They felt scared because they broke in the house and whatnot. But that was my second round draft pick, and I was like, Calvin Ridley, it's going to be value. I'm safe with him. I think he's going to give me at least 1,200 yards, at least 1,200, and T. Law's going to throw the ball. Now, that's where I dropped the ball. So I wanted Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
yeah, this is interesting. We were picking ahead and behind each other the whole night.
Right. And I wanted Lamar
Directly. Like I take Jackson now.
because I was like, bet. I have my wide
So
receivers. I'm going to get my
so
quarterback now. That's what I was going to do. And I
so you
wanted my
got sniped,
quarterback.
and when
Yeah.
you get sniped,
Hell yeah. Yeah,
when
go
you
ahead.
get sniped the pick before you, it leaves you kind of scrambling. Like it's better if you get sniped like 3 picks ahead so you can readjust. But when you get sniped the pick ahead, I didn't know this, so this led you directly to Taylor. Did you think about ATN at all, or you didn't want to pair him
No.
with Ridley?
No, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
you don't
I'm
want
not
2
going to bank my
Jaguars.
entire offense on. Yeah, it's not happening. I'm not going to do that. And then you talk about the picks after. It wouldn't have made sense. Najee Harris is interesting. He's a grinder. He grinded hard for those yards last year. Aaron Jones, I just don't trust Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm out.
Dabo Sweeney, I just don't feel him like that. Devontae
I
Smith
like
would
him.
probably been a good pick, but then I'm like, that's 3 wide receivers, and I think he could break out. Joe Burrow's kind of hurt. Joe Mixon is meh. I don't like DK Metcalf personally. Jahmyr Gibbs later on isn't my thing, and then I am not trusting a Patriot anything. You know what I
So,
mean? So I was like, and then Chris Olave, which is a Saint player, so I don't draft him. So I had to say, all right, Jonathan Taylor, he's sitting there at first round value. Like they had him valued at first round, and he was in the third. So it was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take him, and I'm gonna hope for the best. He's playing for himself. He's gonna be on the pup list, but he's not injured per
did you
se.
think
They
he would
say
get
he is,
traded?
but he's not. I didn't think he was gonna get traded. No,
I
no,
didn't
no, no.
either.
Because they won the first. Colts threw a first round tag on him. No one will pay a first round draft pick for a guy. Ain't no one gonna do it anymore. And that's gonna be part of the conversation we're gonna talk about later. But yeah.
So when I sniped you on Jackson, the next quarterback taken was Burrow, and you said you're not interested in
Yeah.
him. So I totally
Nope.
threw you for a loop.
Yeah.
And then your fourth
anything.
round pick,
To
I
be
like a
honest with
lot.
that, right. So with that said, I was like, all right, I need to wait because actually I played myself. So I wanted to say that fine, I got Calvin Ridley, I'm gonna get T Law. But where I was at in the draft, I felt it would have been too early for me to get him. And I didn't want to draft a quarterback that high. And I get it. Like sometimes like you said, like, hey, you texted me that on draft night. I was like, all right, because I'm gonna talk about in a second that like if you want this guy, sometimes you have to reach. And it's like, all right, fair. And so I end up drafting Alexander Madison, the bell cow for the Vikings. You know what I mean? He's a big boy, and he's gonna get some goal line touches. So I'm hopeful. I don't think his yards are gonna be high, but I think his touchdowns will be a bit higher. And I actually later on, side note, after I put Jonathan Taylor on IR, I picked up his handcuff just in case, because I just
Madison's handcuff.
that guy, right? Madison's handcuff. I trust his handcuff because handcuff is definitely the second. It's like this guy is second. So okay. So if he gets hurt, dinged up, this guy's carried a load for him. So like bet.
What's his name? Ty Chandler.
Fifth round roller. Yes. So I picked him
So
up. Fifth round
Heater
roller.
sniped.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, Heater sniped me at Mike Williams, and I was like, okay, that was like 4 picks ahead of me, so I had to readjust now. And I was thinking about Alexander Madison, and then you took him, and I was like, okay, I'll take James Cook. But then I took Walker, and now you're up in the 5th round.
Stealing the wins. They drafted Chris Godwin, and that freaked me out because I wanted him. And I was like, damn, Chris Godwin's gonna eat a little bit. He's gonna get a lot of catches, and he'll have more yards than Mike Evans this year. But I don't think he'll have more touchdowns than Mike Evans this year.
Now remember, there's a lot of Pennsylvania people in this league, so they like their Penn State guys and they like their Steelers. Right. And
you're
Chris
right.
Godwin's a Penn State guy.
Roderick Chris Godwin. His full name is a Penn guy. So in 5th round, I ended up picking Mike Evans. I've drafted him since he's been almost in the league every year. It's almost a rite of passage. I had my team named by him. Why not? He's going to get 1,000 yards this year. Why not? I'm thinking he's going to give me 8 touchdowns. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be anything flashy, but 8 touchdowns. So then we go into the 6th round. I end up drafting my first tight end. So this round, a couple of tight ends. So Trevor Lawrence came off the board. I was like, dang. Then Deshaun Watson came off the board. I was like, really, dang. And then I was like, all right, I'm not liking the receivers farther down. I don't like the value on the receivers. And I didn't really see running backs I really liked either. Because I was definitely looking at. I looked at Breece Hall.
And I was like,
forever. maybe, but he's coming off an injury, and I'm like, maybe I can pocket him, and who knows, right? Because I had my running backs are pretty good, but John Taylor now really throws you a wrench in it, right? So I got David. What's the dude's name? David Njoku.
And Njoku.
Right? Njoku, right?
Yeah.
From the Cleveland Browns. I like him.
He's solid.
And he's very solid. I think he's going to give me at least over 5 touchdowns this year because Deshaun Watson has been throwing to him. So I like it. 7th round, I pick up Javonte Williams. This should be bounce back here. He's hurt. He got hurt last year early.
Do not draft list for me.
Fair enough. But I was like, it should work. Sean Payton will use him in Alvin Kamara role. I don't like Sean Payton, but hey, I have faith in him as a coach. All right. Round 8, I said, all right, I need a quarterback now. So I said, Jared Goff, come on down.
So I heard a stat about Jared Goff today that I think you might find interesting. It was on Matthew Berry's podcast, and Jared Goff kills it in domes. In 7 of his last 8 games this season, which is the fantasy playoffs, which start in week 13. So that's in
domes.
Yep. 7 of his last 8 games are in domes.
It would make sense. He's from Cali. The weather's really good, and he played for the Rams inside of a dome. And then now, Lions inside of a dome. It's just what it is. Drew Brees would kills inside domes.
Mm-hmm.
He would murder you. So, I mean, sometimes it's like that, and I think it's really important, like when you draft quarterbacks, to understand that, hey, when you play outside. Joe Flacco, when he got drafted, had to throw into the wind because the way Baltimore and Pittsburgh weather is. So he had to do that before he got drafted. So I respect that. Round 9, I said, fine. I actually typed in our group chat, fine, angry that I drafted. I had to draft Drake London.
Now, I just told you, I almost took him here. That's funny. You felt like you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Did you think about Beckham at all?
I had no choice. You took him.
Oh, so you might have taken him.
Maybe. I would have took a flyer on him. I really took a strong, hard look at Michael Thomas, but again, he's a Saints player that's looking for a bounce back. He's 30, but Derek Carr could feed him. So I really took a hard look at that, but I was like, eh. And round 9 was interesting because round 9 you saw that run. We saw a run on defenses.
Yeah,
People
round
start
9 and
drafting
10,
defenses like bam, bam, bam,
10 out of 15 picks for
which is
defense.
crazy.
It's crazy.
hmm You know, and then I picked up Traylon Burks.
You
He's listed
sniped
as
me here. I was going
questionable.
to take him. I love him. I had him last year. He's going to break out
He's
this year, I think, if he could stay
he's
healthy.
listed as questionable. It's hard to say he's going to break out this year, but I mean, I guess with I mean, you have D
There's
Hop
quarterback
there
issues.
that might he has quarterback issues there,
Mm-hmm.
but I
That could help
mean,
him.
if Traylon Burks if he gives me mid tier, I could dig it. And then I picked up Jamison Williams. So I'm playing a long con with
Okay.
this one. He's suspended for 6 games.
You got to be patient.
Real patient, but
That's a
this
lot.
guy it's long time. But by week 7, I have a potential wide receiver
Ooh,
2.
okay. I see. And you can pair him with Goff.
Right. He's potential wide receiver 2 because Brown, he's a really good wide receiver, but he got dinged up last year.
Yes,
And
he
he
did.
started missing games. You know what I mean? But he's solid. And then you tame him up, who's a first round talent, and then now he is healthy. Last year he was hurt. Oh, sorry guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. So last year I'm excited. I hit the microphone. He was hurt last year and coming off an injury. This year he is fully healthy, taking steroids to get healthy back. So proud of you. And now he's back ready to rock and roll. He just wait some games. I'm hoping for the Brandon Marshall suspension 2 games and come back and starts murdering everybody.
Oh,
I
you
don't
hope
think
he
it's
has a
gonna
good
happen.
lawyer, basically?
Yes, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that way. Um,
Okay, so
but
hold on. I want to talk about Jamison Williams here for a second because now that I got to hear why you took him, I really like it, especially paired with Goff. And the next 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers are not exciting. There's Jacoby
no,
Myers, Michael Gallup,
hmm
Adam
yep.
Thielen, and Rondale Moore. I do like
I
Rondale
think
Moore, but I mean, he none of these guys have a high ceiling.
all right. Rondo
Jamison
Moore has
Williams,
no ceiling. There's
right?
no. He's not even inside of a house. So let's stop.
They don't have a
Adam
quarterback.
Thielen though. Adam Thielen though, I think he's the most exciting of this group.
But we
I
don't know what
because he's
Jamison
number one.
we don't know what Jamison Williams' ceiling is. Like it could be
Yeah, it could
limitless.
be right. It could be limitless. He could, like I said, he could be wide receiver 2. I don't think he's not. I don't think he's gonna come out gangbusters and do that. But he has the talent. He has the talent to do it. And Jared Goff is the quarterback to do it with.
And follow the money. He was a 12th overall draft choice last season, I
Yeah.
believe. Like
Yep.
they are invested in him, and they took him knowing he was injured, so they must really
Yep.
like him. I believe they also traded up to get him. Follow the
So
money.
I think I think the Lions. I'm selling Lion stock. Their defense isn't as good as everybody says it is. So they're gonna be behind the game. So Jared Goff's gonna have to throw a lot more. So that's why I did a lot of that. Okay. Round 12, I drafted Jalen Hyatt.
I've never heard of this
Um,
guy.
you never heard this guy? Jalen Hyatt
Uh-uh.
from Tennessee. He is their first round draft pick. My man ran a 4.3 at the combine. Uh, he actually, you can see a highlight on Bleacher Report where I guess Sauce Gardner kind of locked him down for what's it called, a series or not, a couple of thing, whatever. But there's also clips of him burning Sauce Gardner, getting him as well. Sauce is not invincible, okay? It just come on now. But Hyatt is really fast. He was actually Herndon's number 1 wide receiver, but he's a burner. And I think watching him with the Giants offense and Daniel Jones, he's going to be the deep guy. He's going to get some deep shots. And I'm kind of stashing him. I don't predict anything great the first 4 weeks. I think
Right.
after he gets his feet wet and a Giants wide receiver room that needs somebody to
Yeah,
do
they are
something.
uninspiring group.
Right.
So
He's
you
going to
bought
be
a
the guy
lottery
that wants to
ticket.
be some. Yeah. I bought a lottery ticket, but I bought a
Yeah,
lottery
you bought a
ticket
lottery
with
ticket
they
here.
have good numbers on there that could hit because I don't trust Slayton, I don't trust Shepard, I don't trust a lot of these guys in the Giants. I don't trust them, and
Mm-hmm.
and Darren Waller is going to eat up all the short stuff.
No.
So
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then round 13, I did my usual thing that I usually do. I pick up Buccaneers defense. They're always good. They're always mid tier. Top bowls will give them in the top or like early between 10 to 15. So they'll surprise some games, some week not. First week we play against the Vikings, so that should be all right. 14, I picked up Chase McLaughlin as my kicker. He's probably my kicker all year. This guy was really solid. He missed no field goals this
Who's
preseason.
he on now?
He's on the Bucks, and he missed no field goals this preseason. He beat out Ricardo Blankenship uh, for the right to be a kicker. So why not? And then I picked up the Steelers coach, just head coach, just to cut him because the Steelers are they're playing the Niners first game of the season. So like, nope, my bad, my bad choice. So I dropped him immediately, and I think I picked up the Bucks head coach because I have the Bucks beating the Vikings game one of the season, if not a toss up. So that's how my draft turned out right there.
Oh, that was your last pick, was the
Yeah,
Steelers head coach?
yeah.
All right. Yeah, so that's how we got to where we are. I do have a trivia question for you. So, since you just
Okay.
drafted, you're hoping this is a team that can win you a championship. What do you have in common with the Vikings, Bills, Bengals, Panthers, Falcons, Chargers, Titans, and Cardinals?
Let me think. No, I have never won a Super Bowl in this fantasy league ever. In this league, I've never won. Yeah, I've been in this league for
Yeah,
a long time.
I asked you that to lead to this, basically. I have won 4. Freeman has won 4. Jones has won 3. Hine has won 2. So that's 13 of the 15 have been won by 4 people. I think Freeman's 4
Hmm.
are the highlight of his life, by the way.
No, it's not. He has kids. He's kids. He's married. It can't be. It can't be the highlight of his life.
I don't know, man. He he has the years tattooed on his shoulder blade that
Are
he
you
won.
serious?
Yeah, you never
Seriously?
saw that?
I never saw that.
I
That's
made it up.
amazing. Oh shit, man! If that was real, I'm like, yo, that's awesome. Like, yo, that's what I'm talking about right there, boy.
All
You know
right,
what I
so we're
mean?
going
Because
to
I'm like,
wrap.
if that's real, then we have.
You know what? I'll pay for that if he does that. I'll offer that to him. I'll see what he
Okay,
says.
all right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap up our draft recap. I'm going to nominate our Fantasy Football Hall of Famer, and we're going to do another episode where we grade every other team's drafts. But before that, I'm selecting Marcus Colston as my Fantasy Hall of Fame nomination. He was a 7th round draft choice, pick number 252 in 2006 out of Hofstra. He's from Susquehanna Township in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He is a Super Bowl champion with the Saints. He's in the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. He made the all rookie team in 2006. 711 career receptions, 9,759 receiving yards for a 13.7 average and 72 touchdowns. Marcus Colston.
Boo. Boo.
Hofstra. They don't even have a
Yeah, he's
football
from
team
Hofstra.
anymore.
You're right. You're right. That was big. He is pride of Hofstra. Hofstra's had a couple good offensive linemen come out of that school too. But yeah, he burned me one time, so I
Wayne
can't roll with him
Corbett.
anymore. My man Wayne Quebec, man, Jets, they love him, baby. You love him.
All right. So, yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll be back with our draft grades later on in the week. Thanks.